So today we're doing part 2 of the rise of the entrepreneur. Tony Banner did a fantastic presentation on part 1, and we're very excited to share the second part. This is a very neat time to be looking at entrepreneurship as the economy is changing and there's been some serious shifts. So we're going to talk, Tony's going to talk more about it than I am, because I'm not. Tony's our wonderful presenter today. So Tony, just before we get started, for those who have not been on before, just share a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and how long you've been your own entrepreneur.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I have been an entrepreneur now since about 2007, to be exact. And prior to that, I was in the corporate world for 25 years. And I'll share my story a little bit during this presentation. But I finally made a decision that, after a long commute, 3 hours a day, and working around the clock in the corporate world, no breakfast, lunch, or dinner with my family, because of course I was on the road. It was time. It was time for me to make a decision to be an entrepreneur. And the other thing that I want to share about this a little bit too is, I was from New York, so I had a lot of people around me. I built a business as an entrepreneur in New York, and then I moved to Prince Edward Island, Canada, and now I live in a very remote location, and I needed something online. So I took my entrepreneurial business and took it online.
That's excellent. And it's nice having the flexibility to do that. So yeah, I'm very excited for you to share this presentation. Tony, thank you so much for doing this. So when you're ready, take it away. Let's rock and roll.
All right, great. So again, tonight is a lifestyle series, and the series is about the rise of the online entrepreneur, part 2. So what this is about is how everyday people are really creating wealth and certainly time and freedom, as I had just mentioned, by starting an online business in their spare time. And they're calling this the gig economy. So when we started with part 1 of this whole series, we really talked about how, the career landscape has changed. It's really changed dramatically. And so many people are still working in a model that's completely out of date. And so what worked in the past is just not working well for people today. So in the first session, we explored 3 really important questions. Number 1, what's really going on today in the working world? Number 2, in this new economy, is it better to become an entrepreneur? And number 3, how can you start a business without really taking on all that massive risk that people are mostly concerned about? So what you're going to learn in this session is, 1, why start a business online? Number 2, why the network marketing industry is a really good possibility. And number 3, the path to getting started. Like, how do you get started in being an entrepreneur and starting your own online business? Well, the presenter is myself, and my name is Tony Banner. And I'm going to be your guide today as we explore this incredible opportunity. And a little bit about my story. As I had mentioned, I had been in the corporate world for 25 years prior to being an entrepreneur. That's a picture of also my husband. My husband, Paul, is an attorney and was a judge in New York. And I was commuting, like I said, 2 to 3 hours a day just to and from work. And I was, getting up at 5:30 in the morning, getting home at 8 o'clock at night, and not having breakfast, lunch, and dinner with my family. And so I started saying, there's got to be a better way. There has to be a better life. There has to be a better opportunity for me to stay at home. And so I was really passionate about helping other people become entrepreneurs. And I found this incredible company that I'm going to talk a little bit about tonight, and how really to start being your own entrepreneur working from home. Now, what I love the most about having an online business is I can do it anywhere. I have worked my online business in Bali. I was in Indonesia. I've been in India, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam. I've been to Italy, Ireland, every Caribbean island you can think of, and there's a picture of me in Hawaii. So I've taken my business everywhere I've been in all those countries, and I continue to travel. So what I love the most about having this business is I can be anywhere in the world as long as I have an internet and a connection and a phone, and that's globally, and, you know, run an entrepreneurial business. So, and I love helping others gain this financial freedom as well and be entrepreneurs. And that's why I'm sharing this entire presentation with you in this series. So first, let's do a quick recap of what we talked about in the first session. So what's really going on today in our working world? Well, first of all, long-term employment. So what does that mean? Well, this means that workers are jobless for about 27 weeks or more, and it's affecting over 1 million people. Now, also, what's the issue? Well, there seems to be a mismatch with skill set. And this is the reason that employers are not hiring the 6.4 million people who are actively looking right now for work. So the jobs are there, but the skills and or wages just aren't a fit. And the idea of job security is really obsolete. But, you know, it's still taught inside our school system about how to get a job. Now, the middle class income has also been trending down for years. I mean, I was in the corporate world for 25 years. I must have seen hundreds of layoffs. Every year around that Christmas time, they were laying off an enormous amount of employees. There's your, you know, your working poor, they're being called today. And evidence of that can be seen in the food stamp usage in America. If you Google that, you will be shocked at how many people in America are on food stamps today. So, and you know, for most people, that 40-40 plan where you graduate from college, get a job, and then you're working for 40 hours for 40 years, well, that's gone. Even, you know, a lot of the, I mean, I have a daughter and a son. My daughter's had at least 7 or 8 positions at this point. So this kind of work style and lifestyle is just no longer something that is what we have today. And the average person, and this is also a really sad statistic, the average American today is retiring at 65 years old with about $41,000 a year in assets. That is not a lot of money, as you all well know, to live on. I mean, you're barely living on that, and you certainly can't do anything outside of, you know, extracurricular activity. So they're just earning about enough to survive. They can't even go on vacation. So guess what? They either have to get a side gig or a new job or continue working for a very, very long time. So this is the reality for most people's future. If you're not working for yourself or have some kind of a side gig of your own, it's going to be really hard for a lot of people in the future. So if you want to reach the top 25% of income earners today, you need to be earning at least $90,000 a year. And if you want to be in the top 10%, your household income would be about $140,000. So here's the question you want to ask yourself. What do you think will give you the best chance to move up and get into that top 10% or better? Well, in my opinion, and of course a lot of the experts, they're saying the answer is to become an entrepreneur, be your own boss, even if it's just part-time. And you know, I started my entrepreneurial business part-time with the goal or the intention that I would replace my entire corporate income and I would be able to have a lifestyle with passive, residual, and leveraged income for life. And that's exactly what I've done with starting this particular online business. So how to start without taking on that massive risk? So a lot of people really shy away from a business because they're really concerned about having a traditional business. So that's a brick and mortar business where you have a building or you're buying a franchise, which requires huge upfront investment. I believe that if you wanted to buy a McDonald's, it's probably $1 million. My girlfriend had a Curves for Women, $65,000 in just the gym equipment. High risk potentially. What if you don't get the clients and then you're out all that money? You could even go into bankruptcy. By the way, my husband was a bankruptcy attorney for 38 years. He saw this over and over and over again with people starting businesses. And you might even have to quit your current job just to run it, but you might not be able to afford that because you don't have the income coming in. Now, what about an online business versus this traditional brick and mortar? Well, very small upfront investment, low risk, and you usually do not need to quit your job to start it or run it. Remember, I was working in the corporate world when I started my entrepreneurial adventure. So now there are so many ways to get started online without taking this risk. There are a few core type of business opportunities that are online. So one of them is you could distribute or sell your own products, or you could market somebody else's, or you could offer a service, or you could be an influencer. And any one of these options is a possibility. But after looking at all the different online entrepreneurial options, we prefer network marketing. So how is network marketing so successful? Well, it gets its name because people distribute this product or service through a very large network of distributors. And all of the distributors are independent entrepreneurs, just like me. So it can be done offline, it could be done online, but the beauty of it is that you have both options, and I've done it both ways. Now, why are we recommending it? Well, first of all, really low startups. Okay, very low overhead. Again, I just needed my computer and a phone, and I was in business. You can start it part-time and then grow to full-time, which is exactly what I did. You have a proven system, which is a system we're going to share about. It's very similar to a franchise without all that overhead costs. You'll get training from people with experience. And the training is just amazing, I have to say. It's really had me be very successful. You don't have to create everything from scratch because we've already created everything. Everything's online. It's all ready to go. It's all set up. So all you have to do is learn the system. And again, we have people that are coaching and training people how to do it. Now you have a product ready to market. It's something that we're going to recommend. And your supplier of the product is responsible for all the research, the development, etc. Also, you're a part of a really supportive community of entrepreneurs that are like-minded and want to help you. You can create a residual income. This is very unlike linear income where you're trading time for money. You know, it's so interesting. Even though my husband was an attorney and he was making, really good income, he was only as good as his last client. So if he didn't have a client, he wouldn't get paid. What residual income is unlike linear. And you want to definitely learn a little bit more about that when we take you through a process if you're interested to learn more. It also offers great rewards like bonus cars, amazing travel opportunities all over the world. And this company handles accounting, legal, and most all of the administrative responsibilities. So you can create an income by specializing in teaching versus selling. A lot of people ask me, well, is this selling? We're really teaching, training, mentoring, and guiding. And you can do it all online using your laptop and a smartphone if you want to. So that's all the tools necessary for you to start, own, and operate a business. Now, here's the reality of the business. Number one, 1% do really, really well. 10% generate additional income, and 90% end up as happy, loyal consumers. So consider that the startup failure rates of a traditional business within their first 10 years is around 70%. So it's really amazing to actually consider being an entrepreneur and having your own online business with the statistics being as good as they are. Now, here is the average 2017 annual income ranges for part-time online entrepreneurs using Shaklee as their supplier, and that's the supplier that we're recommending. So first of all, I want to point to that first position on leadership. It's called a director position. So the average director with our company is earning about $10,000 a year. So that's about $888 a month, working part-time. So I don't know about you guys, but I was pretty psyched when I found out that you can earn $800 to $1,000 a month extra part-time. This could drastically change someone's life forever. When I talk to people about, hey, would you like to earn a little extra income? And I ask them, what would make a difference? Most people tell me $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. Right? So that's about a great starting point for people to earn part-time income. But I really want to point to that executive coordinator position. And that's someone who is a director with our company. They have about 20 to 25 consumers that are consistent. And they have found a couple of other people that want to join them as an entrepreneur themselves. Now, you would have to work for a government agency or be a teacher to earn about that kind of money with a pension. Well, there are people with Shaklee as entrepreneurs and independent distributors. They're earning this kind of income within 1 to 3 years. I mean, that's extraordinary. So this is, again, working part-time, starting part-time, and then eventually getting into that full-time position because, of course, you're earning a lot of income. And remember, this is not linear money. It's passive, residual, and leverage income because we're helping you build teams of other entrepreneurs who want to do exactly what we're doing. So this isn't grandma's business or grandmother's business. The industry has changed dramatically, network marketing. It's grown up. It's totally transformed. Now, noted author and motivational speaker, one of my favorite authors that I've read a lot of his books, Brian Tracy, has said, any industry that has been around for a long period of time has learned from its mistakes and flaws and errors. Like computer software, over time, you can work out all the bugs. Well, the multi-level marketing industry has been debugged. The future is being virtual and on the go. Young people today, you know, they've grown up with social media. They understand networks. They understand how it works. They understand how people are connected through technology. It makes me think of Facebook and how those young Harvard gentlemen really, oh my goodness, they had an explosion in social media. So this is where the future lies, us learning and being entrepreneurs through social media. And they understand how money flows through these networks. Also, Jacob Morgan, he's the author of The Future of Work. He's showing the evolution of the employee, how many jobs still can't offer these attributes. And becoming an online entrepreneur, however, can certainly deliver a lifestyle and a work life. So let's take a little bit of a look at this evolution of the employee. So first of all, in the past, people worked 9 to 5. The future, work anytime. Like, I love that I'm an entrepreneur. I can come and go as I please. If I want to work in the morning, I will. If I want to work out in the morning and work in the afternoon, I can. If I prefer to work at night, I think I will. If I want to take a week off, I can. So also work in a corporate office. I used to be stuck in a building in New York City where it was so unbelievable, just taking the train in and out of the city, in a cubicle and then in an office. And you know, you're stuck in that environment every day in and day out with those specific hours. Here, I could work anywhere. As I mentioned earlier, I've been traveling all over the world and working wherever I am. Now there, I would use company equipment. Here, I use any device. I use my laptop, my iPad, my smartphone, whatever I have and whatever I'm traveling with. Focused on inputs in the past. Now we're focused on outputs. Climb the corporate ladder, I'm creating my own. Predefined work, I'm customizing my work. Hoarding information, I am sharing information. No voice, I am now a leader of my own company, being my own boss, running a company, and actually enjoying every moment. Past, rely on email. Now we're relying on the collaboration of all different types of technology. Focused on knowledge, focused on adaptive learning. Corporate learning and teaching, democratized learning and teaching. So as you can see, the evolution of the employee crosses over to entrepreneurs as well. And in this model, it's so much more fulfilling, and you really are going to learn that you will love what you're doing because it's actually a lot of fun and very interesting. Now, when you love what you do, you're happier. Now, this is Harvard professor Shawn Achor, and he wrote a book called The Happiness Advantage. I highly recommend that you read this. Now, one of the things that he shared was that in his research, that he proves that 75% of job success can be predicted not by how smart you are, but by how happy you are. And his research was very decisive, and he says when you're happy, your intelligence, your creativity, and your productivity rises, and you make way more money and live longer. And the cool thing is, I like that he distinguishes that come from a place of happiness, and all of these things will arise. So I just think that being happier, working where you want to work, choosing your own hours, being your own boss, making as much money as you'd like to make with unlimited income possibility is really going to create an amazing environment for you to live longer, better, and of course, be a lot happier. Now, 4 key things you want to look for in a network marketing business. Again, important. Number 1, the product. Number 2, the company. Number 3, the compensation plan. And number 4, support. 4 really, really important things for you to distinguish. So let's take a look at that. First of all, the product. So does the product you like, and would you feel comfortable sharing it? So you want to know, do I like this company? Do I like what they're about? Do I like what they're offering? Number 2, is there a need for it and a market for it? With Shaklee, oh my goodness, this is a billion-dollar marketplace, and health and wellness is the biggest trend today. Is it priced competitively, and can it compete in the market? Is it repeat use? Will the products be used month after month after month? And do people love the products? Well, we have a 62-year heritage and a philosophy of integrity, and people love our products. And some people have been using our products 40 and 50 years repetitively. Imagine that. I think our average customer is about 20 years. So is there any science to support it? Well, our company has a lot of science. And you'll learn more about that when the person who invited you. Now, number 2, the company. Is it run well? Does it have a history of success? Do you believe in the management team? Good management can change with the times. They can handle adversity, and can they make good decisions? I mean, I worked for MCI, which became WorldCom, and we had a leadership team when it was WorldCom that had the largest fraudulent scam in all of America, and I lost 25 years of all my stock options and everything I had saved for in one day. All right, there's my management team, okay? And that's another reason I became an entrepreneur. I had to replace my corporate income. I literally had to find money that I could have for life, and this entrepreneurial adventure gave me that option. So the management team was really critical to me, and the person who's the chairman of the board for our company is extraordinary, and you'll learn more about that as well. Now, number 3, the compensation. Can you earn an income fairly quickly? Small early victories create a ripple effect of success, and we have great compensation, and people can earn money right away. And we have some incredible launches coming up that you'll find out more about. That is just so exciting. Now, you can earn small part-time income in a relatively short period of time, and also you can earn full-time income also in a relatively short period of time if you put in that much effort. Now, if you want to get serious, can you create a career income? Absolutely. And can you choose to sell your business or pass it on to your kids? Our company is willable. So we have generations of people that, because we've been around for 62 years, that have handed down their business generation after generation after generation. So think about that. Do I have children that I would like to live a legacy to? Do I have grandchildren? So what a great opportunity with our compensation plan to build something for a future for your entire family. Support. If you're comfortable with the product, the company, and the compensation plan, the last thing you want to make sure that you take a look at is their support. And here's the most important thing. Do you have a system in place that's simple and easy to follow, and a team that's going to help offer you all of that? So does your team offer success? Well, let's take a look at this. Our team offers marketing funnels to help you find customers and sponsor distributors on your team. So one of the most important things when you're an entrepreneur is, where are the customers coming from? Where's my marketing funnel? How will I find people? Well, our system will help support that. Do you have a website for your brand? And here's the coolest thing. It's one thing to have a corporate website, which I love, but it's another thing when you brand yourself. So every successful entrepreneur has their own brand. So with our team, you'll be able to brand yourself and connect all your websites and all your properties into one marketing hub. Also, do you have a lead capture tool that you can attract and capture leads to build your marketing lists? And will you have an email marketing and follow-up system to help you communicate with all your customers, your prospects, your builders, your leaders, and your entrepreneurs? So all of these things are really, really important that you have in order to be a successful entrepreneur. Now, also a contact management system to help manage all your contacts. Online training to help you and your team learn on demand. 24/7 is that available. Educational content that you can use to attract prospects and to educate your new customers and your builders. And does your system produce and host live events, webinars just like this, where you can invite your prospects, your customers, and your builders to learn all about these incredible products that we have? So how are people creating wealth and freedom with a network marketing business online? Well, first of all, they switch brands and buy from themselves. They find some consumers using educational marketing strategies, and then they help other budding entrepreneurs that are equally excited and want to get started and copy this simple process. Now, I know it sounds so simple, but I'm not going to say it's completely easy. So any business takes hard work, resources, and certainly persistence and resilience. Network marketing online isn't perfect. It could be challenging, even could be a little emotional, but like any entrepreneurial venture, it can have its ups and downs. But if you have an entrepreneurial bone in your body, or a spirit, or a desire, or a why big enough that you would like to work from home, this is certainly better than most traditional businesses. So if you even have the slightest interest to find out a little bit more, like, what is this? How can I become an entrepreneur? And who is this company that they're talking about? And how do I learn more? I'm going to encourage you to reach out to the person who invited you to this webinar and take a free tour of our online evaluation classrooms. It'll tell you more about the company, the products, how you get started, how this works, how you would get customers, and how you begin to start, own, and operate your own entrepreneurial online business. So you can dig deeper into the turnkey system that we are offering, of course. Now, you could be up and running in your own business within a week. I remember once I made that decision, I was up, ready to go, running, and I became a director in, I think, 2 weeks. So I started earning that income right away, which is really exciting. And I think it's going to be thrilling when you get back to the person who invited you. So we really appreciate your being on this webinar with us. We thank you for being interested. We hope that you make a decision to join our team. And if you do, let me be the first to welcome you to the entrepreneurial world, and of course to Shaklee.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tony. I'm very excited for people to share this, and I hope you got some great info. Now, if you are looking, like Tony said, if you want to look at what this opportunity has to offer, get with the person who invited you. We have a fantastic group called Exploring the Opportunity through YFP. You're welcome to ask to be added to the group, and in there, you can share what you like best about this presentation. Also, if you are if you're feeling bold enough to, you can share what you like best about this in your Facebook, and you can tag YFP. And thank you again, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next time.